Hello everybody. The scenario that we're going to look at in this video involves what happens when the central bank accommodates a demand shock. And we'll be doing this on the spreadsheet with the short-run macro model, the ISRT-PC model. So as you can see, we start out with no shocks. Our first shock, we're just going to put a plus in here, is to aggregate demand. You'll see that's an increase in demand. You can see that the result here is an upturn, higher real interest rate, higher inflation, and higher nominal interest rate. And let's verify this over here on the charts. Here we have a rightward shift in the IS curve. We're moving along the Taylor rule. So the idea is that the central bank, in keeping on its Taylor rule, raises interest rate. So that mutes the effect of an aggregate demand shock. By raising interest rates, we're going to squeeze out some demand. Inflation won't be as high as it would have been otherwise, and we're going to see what that otherwise is in just a second. Because here, once again, we're going to put in a positive shock. But to compensate now, we are going to cut interest rates. Now, by cutting interest rates, the central bank has decided to increase the money supply more than it would have otherwise. So we call that a monetary accommodation. The central bank is leaving its original Taylor rule, and it is accommodating this increase in demand. Now, the increase in demand could come from government spending, for example. So in this case, the central bank is cooperating by cutting interest rates. The central bank is avoiding any crowding out of private activity. So you can see here where you have increase in demand, discretionary loosening. Here we're going to get a slightly higher real interest rate. But you'll notice now we have even more inflation. Why? Because the output gap is even higher under the alternative accommodation scenario than it was under the original scenario when the central bank stayed on its Taylor rule. And you can see also the effect on inflation. You can see that because we have a higher output gap under alternative 2, the accommodative scenario, that also means we have a higher inflation rate. Now let's think about this going forward, the implications of monetary accommodation. Expectations of inflation for the future may be determined by what the inflation rate is today. So a higher inflation rate today may actually color our perceptions, color our expectations of inflation in the future by noticing that the central bank left its Taylor rule for this episode to accommodate the demand shock. We may end up concluding that the central bank isn't serious about keeping its inflation target, and that will mean that it will be even harder for the central bank to bring down the inflation rate in the future. Thank you very much.